Scott, new reports say Nintendo partners testing Switch 2 backwards compatibility. This is interesting. Grant Taylor Hill over at Insider Gaming. Nintendo fans worldwide are sitting on the edge of their seats, waiting eagerly for tidbits of news about the Switch 2, or as Scott calls it, the Super Switch. And
that's right, I'm Team Super Switch all the way.
The assumed next generation of Nintendo's flagship console. Despite being one of the most talked about pieces of hardware in the business at the moment, very little, very little is known about the console, aside from any information gleaned from leaks that are few and far between. Recently, a claim surfaced that Nintendo's partners are actively testing backwards compatibility on the Switch 2, or Super Switch. One of the most sought after attributes of the next generation of any console is backwards compatibility. It's the perfect way for most players to hit the ground running with a new console, pulling across games from the previous generation seamlessly and ensuring they can keep playing what they've already been without any compromises. Here's the biggest thing for me, Scott, is Nintendo's never really done this, right? They want to sell you your old library, and they've been doing that for decades and decades. Where PlayStation now lets you carry over, Xbox carrying over, right? Everything, Steam, you've been carrying Steam games for like since 1990. so
that's why my Steam library is the biggest out of all of the three. But no, it does make a lot of sense. They really have to include backwards compatibility with this iteration, in my opinion, because of the massive number of Switch owners there are. Yeah. You don't want to alienate any of that fan base. You want to kind of angle it as an upgrade. That's what Nintendo often will do, especially if there's no charger in with the hardware, but that's another issue. Nintendo kind of views it as an upgrade.
Yeah.
In the mobile space, I think that's still true, because back in the day, the old Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, they were all interchangeable going forward. You could always bring the old games forward. But you're not wrong, though, because when you go to modern day era, I have a Wii U. I didn't have a Wii. Somehow I skipped over that. But I have a Wii U, and I couldn't bring any of those or most of those games over to Switch. I have no idea how or if they are compatible or whatever.
Yeah.
I had to just leave it behind. But I think that's changing in the future. And as everything's getting to digital games, that's one part of it.
Yep. Which is great, right? I think when you take a look at Mario Kart, what they've done this year with Mario Kart, and then the wave of new tracks, and another wave, another 8 waves of new tracks, and then you get the Switch 2, and you can't take that with you. Man, can you imagine? Can you? Oh man, I'd be livid, right? All those tracks. That game has been around for so long. It didn't see the light of day really back over on the Wii U. So let's bring it forward, put it on the Switch. Here it goes. It takes off. Massive numbers. Tears of the Kingdom, massive numbers. Now you have Switch 2, buy it again. Nope. Right? That's what they don't want to do. Like you say, they don't want to alienate. I think this is the proper move, and I'm happy to see Nintendo somewhat catch up with the generations, because Nintendo does their own thing. We often say Nintendo does what Nintendo wants, and it's just they're in their own. It's their own beat of the drum, and it's very cool. It's very unique, and it's very welcomed, I think, to our market, right, to the industry alone. So to see Nintendo at least bring this tidbit forward is a much welcomed addition, hands down. I think it's something that they need to do, and I'm glad to see it. Dude, we just need to Switch 2 now.
Absolutely.